So this is the motorhome I have for rent again. Um, there was a retired couple renting it for about 2 years, just in case somebody's seen the ad in the past. And they were able to buy some property, so they moved on, and now the motorhome's for rent again. It's located in Madoc and completely off-grid property, away from the streets and the noise of the city, as you can notice. Very quiet, very peaceful. Lots of chipmunks and woodpeckers, turtles. Located on a dead-end street. This is the road that goes further into the property. Everything on the motorhome works, except for the fridge, but I am including a separate fridge. There's the propane, the shower. We do have a small solar setup. There's just 2 solar panels and a couple of old batteries, so I can't do much with it except for lights and operate the water pump. Maybe the fridge, but you would need some new batteries and possibly a couple more solar panels, because they do stay in the shade most of the time. As you can see, there's lots of trees. You do have to be independent to be able to use the motorhome, because as you can see, we are away from the city. There's no TTC over here, so you do have to drive, or at least drive an ATV. It's close to the Hastings Heritage Trail. Motorhome is in excellent shape, nice and dry, nice and clean. We got an exterior light here. Here's the Kenmore fridge I'm including in the rental. And it is a cheap rental, so anything that does break or needs some maintenance, you need to, those costs are not included. So let's say the fridge breaks down, you need to get yourself a new fridge. Everything was kept very clean. This was a one-owner motorhome. Here's the sink. It works just like in a normal house. All the windows work. The stove and the oven work really well. This fridge is either not working or it needs some maintenance. So just assume it's not working. Have not tested the central heating system for it, so just assume it's not working. Not a big deal. You just put a buddy heater in. That's it. Problem solved. Here's the shower. Here's what the surrounding area looks like. We're currently working on cleaning up this swamp area here and making a pond. See if we can attract some ducks and turtles. And this road is the road that goes into the rest of the property, so it does have to be unobstructed at all times. you have parking space. We're including 2 parking spaces with the motorhome, so you can park here and there, or here, and possibly even just over here. We are going to get more gravel delivered to certain parts, especially on the parking areas. So that might change. This will be a little bit better. In a few days it'll be graveled like this. Now I know I'm going to get a lot of questions. I get bombarded with literally hundreds of questions about solar power, about living off grid, and lots of silly questions as well, such as, is this still available? And I'm sorry, but I just don't have the time. I work a full-time job here, and we are off grid, so it does take me a while to reply. But anyways, unfortunately, I don't have time to reply to a bunch of silly questions. So what you see is what you get. The motorhome is rented as is. Any maintenance costs are the renter's responsibility. You have to deal with any upgrades or maintenance costs. So any other silly questions, as I said, such as, is this still available? Are there mosquitoes there? Are there crows there? I get all sorts of crazy questions. Those questions will not receive a reply unless you pay me for my time. Now, for those that have some realistic questions about solar power and living off grid, you can check those out on the channel Motorhome Diaries, as well as Eldorado Construction and Rental, and you can look for those there. So the motorhome is rented all year round. So if you want to rent it in winter or in summer, it is available. The roads here, they are not maintained by the municipality. So snow, clearing out the snow is your responsibility. Although most two-wheel drive normal cars can get up through here without a problem, even in winter. But just keep that in mind. Hunting and shooting are strictly forbidden. No hunting allowed. We try to take care of the animals here. I'll just show you there's a little path that takes you to the lake. You can see the lake video on another video. This is the main road, and there's a little path to the lake. Can't really see it, it's kind of hidden, but it's about a 10-minute walk to the lake. So the motorhome sits on a 10-acre property, so there's a lot of space. And I've had a few people ask me about the shared area. So basically it's a huge parcel of land. So as you can see, we don't have fences or any kind of walls or anything like that determine the exact area that you get. But you get approximately a 1-acre area. So basically all you see here, all this area here and here, is what's kind of included for use with the motorhome. But obviously this road is shared. This road is used by other potential properties, or I should say other potential parcels of the land. So we do have a few other spots for rent, and you need to use this road in order to get to them. So this road usually has to be This road always has to be, can't park a vehicle or put anything on it. Any forms of tents or tarps are also not permitted. They're not permitted because people just start bringing in a bunch of stuff and the place looks terrible. So we are open to possibly considering the option of building a shed if you really want to, but the place generally has to remain the way you see it on the video. And so obviously the lake area is also shared. But everything around here, such as this area and this area, are included in the motorhome parcel. All right, so I mean, if it's a big parcel again, as I said, but if in the future it is necessary to mark an exact area, then that can also be done. But I don't see why that would be necessary. The motorhome. In winter, it's got insulation. It's very well insulated. And it's a lot easier heating up this motorhome than heating up a full-sized home. So using it in the winter is not a problem. And you can check out other videos from our YouTube channel where we show different options for heating, but usually the best is a Vever heater. And there's just lots of information. There's just millions of videos available, and lots of videos available on our channel. So just before I end this video, I just need to tell you that I get hundreds of messages apart from working a full-time job here and living off grid. So unfortunately, I just don't have the time to answer all of the questions, especially since, and most questions, most questions, I just get so many silly, stupid questions. Is this still available? Are there mosquitoes there? Is it safe for dogs? And all sorts of crazy questions. It is a pet-friendly motorhome, if you want to put it that way, by the way. So you're welcome to have pets, cat or a dog, but obviously any damages, if anything gets damaged, just have to be repaired or replaced. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And so just going back to the questions, I'm sorry, but if I had time, I just answer a bunch of silly questions like, is this still available? Can I see it? More information. I mean, what the hell does that even mean? So for those silly questions, I do charge. You do need to. We do charge $20. So and most everything should be answered on the video and on the description. So silly, if you're not serious, then please don't bother to reply. We're only considering serious applicants. I do not give out the address to anybody. So for the address, you do need to send your ID and or a deposit of $100. And in the past, I know I've been criticized for doing this, but in the past, we did used to just give out people the address for people to come by and just take a look at the motorhome until people started leaving garbage behind. And so we did attract some bad individuals in the past. So again, Uh, I'm sorry, but we do not give out the address until you're absolutely certain of the rental. Just that's just the way it is. I rather not rent out the place than to rent it out to somebody that's gonna leave garbage behind and cause problems. So we're very selective about who rents motorhome. And again, it's a beautiful spot. So um, and again, if that bothers you, then that's just the way it is. That's your problem. But ever any serious questions will obviously receive a reply. Although it does take a while because we are completely off grid here, so I don't always have access to the internet. Um, Once again, thank you for your interest.